All right, let's be real for a second. Have you ever noticed how life seems to hit you with all the negatives at once? Like your car breaks down, you lose your wallet, and boom, your phone decides to take a swim. But what if I told you that negativity in your life might not just be random chaos? What if it's connected to something way bigger, something universal? You're about to learn something that could completely change how you see your struggles, your choices, and even your place in the universe. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at negativity the same way again. Okay, so here's where we're going. You're going to discover why negatives in your life might actually be the most important thing shaping who you are. We'll look at how the universe itself works in a way that mirrors your struggles. And then I'll share some ridiculously practical ways you can turn all that negativity into the biggest advantage of your life. By the way, the craziest part of this comes later when you find out what the universe is actually trying to do with you. So stay with me. Let's start with this. Have you ever wondered why bad things seem to happen at the worst possible time? Like, why does life seem to pile on all at once? Psychologists call this the negativity bias. It's hardwired into your brain because back when humans were avoiding saber-toothed tigers, noticing the bad stuff was literally the difference between life and death. But here's the kicker: your brain is still running that ancient software. Even though your modern problems aren't life-threatening. That's why when one thing goes wrong, it feels like your entire world is falling apart. But here's the question no one asks. What if negativity is actually part of something much bigger? The ancient Greeks believed that chaos was the natural state of the universe. They thought life wasn't supposed to be easy, it was about overcoming struggles to find meaning. And modern science, it actually backs this up. Physicists have discovered that the universe itself is built on a balance between chaos and order. Stars are born out of collapsing gas clouds. Black holes, the most destructive forces in space, are also the engines that create galaxies. Without destruction, there's no creation.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
So here's a wild thought. What if the negatives in your life are like those black holes? What if they're not just random bad luck, but the very thing forcing you to grow into something bigger? Think about it. When do you grow the most as a person? Is it when everything's easy, or when life kicks you in the teeth? Now, before we go deeper, I want you to ask yourself something. If the universe depends on chaos and struggle to create stars and galaxies, what does that say about your struggles? Could it be that the negatives in your life are actually necessary for you to become something greater? If that doesn't get your brain spinning, keep watching. Because in the next part, I'm going to show you how this universal principle links to some surprising truths about your emotions, your decisions, and even your relationships. All right, so we've established that negativity isn't just random, it's baked into the very fabric of the universe. But now, let's make this personal. Let's talk about you. Because here's the truth: most of us completely misunderstand how to deal with negativity. And the reason why? It's because no one ever told us how powerful it actually is. Here's the deal: when something bad happens, your brain goes into overdrive trying to solve the problem. It's like a survival mechanism on steroids. But here's the twist: your brain isn't just reacting to the negative event. It's actually rewiring itself in real time. Neuroscientists have discovered that when you face a challenge, your brain creates new connections between neurons. This is called neuroplasticity, and it's what allows you to adapt, learn, and grow. So, what's the takeaway? Negativity is literally how your brain evolves. Without it, you'd stay stuck in the same patterns forever. But here's the catch: this only works if you handle negativity the right way. And let's be honest, most of us don't. When something bad happens, what do? We complain, we avoid, we distract ourselves with Netflix or social media. But here's the thing: avoiding negativity doesn't make it go away. It just delays the growth you're supposed to go through. Here's a question for you. When's the last time you actually sat with your negative emotions and asked yourself, what is this trying to teach me? That might sound cheesy, but think about it. If the universe uses chaos to create stars, and your brain uses challenges to rewire itself, doesn't it make sense that your struggles might have a purpose? Now, let's take this a step further. Did you know that the way you handle negativity doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you? Scientists have found that emotions are contagious. When you're stressed or angry, the people around you pick up on that energy. But here's the flip side: when you turn negativity into something constructive, you inspire others to do the same. Let me give you a real-life example. There's this concept in psychology called post-traumatic growth. It's the idea that some people who go through extreme challenges like losing a loved one or surviving a disaster actually come out stronger, more compassionate, and more driven than they were before. Why? Because they find meaning in their struggles. So here's a challenge for you. The next time something bad happens, instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" It's a simple shift, but it can completely change how you experience negativity. All right, we're about to get into the really crazy stuff. In the next part, I'm going to show you how this idea of negativity and growth connects to some of the biggest mysteries of the universe, including one theory that might change how you see your entire existence. Okay, here's where things get insane. So far, we've talked about how negativity is a tool for growth both in your brain and in your life. But what if I told you that negativity might actually be part of how the universe itself works? There's this theory in quantum physics called entropy. Basically, it's the idea that everything in the universe moves toward chaos. Left to itself, a system will always become more disordered over time. But here's the wild part: life is the exact opposite. Life takes chaos and turns it into order. Your body, your mind, your relationships, they're all systems that fight against entropy. So what does this mean for you? It means that every time you face a negative situation and grow from it, you're literally doing what the universe is designed to do, turning chaos into order. Let that sink in for a second. The same principles that govern stars, galaxies, and black holes are at work in your everyday struggles. And this brings us to one of the biggest questions of all: what's the point of all this? Why does the universe seem to rely on negativity and struggle to create something better? Some scientists and philosophers believe that the universe might be trying to evolve towards something greater. Think about it: if stars, planets, and even life itself are born out of chaos, could it be that your struggles are part of a larger process? Could it be that the universe is using negativity to shape not just you, but everything around you? Here's the bottom line: negativity isn't something to avoid. It's something to embrace. Because when you face it head-on, you're not just growing, you're aligning yourself with the way the universe actually works. So the next time life throws you a curveball, remember this: you're not alone. The entire universe is built on the same principle. And if you can learn to see negativity not as a problem, but as an opportunity, you'll unlock a level of strength and resilience you didn't even know you had. Now, here's my question for you. What's one negative thing in your life right now that you can turn into an opportunity? Seriously, take a second to think about it. And when you're ready, share your answer in the comments. Let's turn this into a conversation. Thanks for watching, and if you made it this far, you're already ahead of 99% of people. Because the truth is, most people run from negativity, but you're learning how to turn it into your greatest superpower. Stay curious, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, let's dive even deeper, because there's still so much left to unpack. If you've made it this far, it means you're not just watching passively, you're actively looking for ways to make sense of the negatives in your life. And that right there, that mindset, it's what separates people who grow from their challenges from those who get stuck in them. So let's build on everything we've talked about so far and push this even further. By now, you might be wondering, if negativity is such a fundamental part of life, why does it still feel so overwhelming when it happens? Why does it feel like life is trying to break you instead of build you? Well, here's the thing: growth doesn't happen despite the pain. It happens because of it. Let's look at this on a biological level. When you exercise, what are you actually doing? You're literally tearing your muscle fibers apart. That's why it hurts. But when your body repairs those fibers, it builds them back stronger than they were before. The pain is part of the process. And guess what? The same principle applies to your emotional and mental growth. So when life throws negativity your way, it's like the universe putting you through a gym session. It's tearing down the parts of you that are no longer serving you, so you can rebuild into something stronger, wiser, and more capable. But here's the catch: growth isn't automatic. Just like you can't build muscle by sitting on the couch, you can't grow from negativity unless you actively engage with it. And that's where most people get stuck. Instead of leaning into the discomfort, they numb it. They distract themselves. They blame other people. But here's the truth: you can't heal what you don't face. So here's a question for you: what's one area of your life where you've been avoiding the pain? Maybe it's a tough conversation you need to have. Maybe it's a habit you know you need to break. Whatever it is, I want you to think about how avoiding it is holding you back. And then, I want you to imagine what could happen if you faced it head on. One of the biggest lessons I've learned, and I'm willing to bet you've experienced this too, is that your perspective changes everything. Think about the last time something bad happened to you. At first, it probably felt like the end of the world. But now, looking back, can you see how that experience shaped you? Maybe it taught you a lesson. Maybe it made you stronger. Maybe it even opened the door to something better. Here's a crazy statistic for you: studies show that people who practice reframing, meaning they consciously look for the positives in a negative situation, are significantly more resilient. They're better at handling stress, they're more optimistic, and they're even healthier. Why? Because reframing changes the way your brain processes the event. Instead of seeing it as a threat, your brain starts to see it as a challenge. And challenges are something you can overcome. So how do you do this? It starts with one simple question: what's the gift in this? I know it sounds a little out there, but hear me out. No matter how bad a situation is, there's always something you can learn from it. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's showing you the value of something you've been taking for granted. Or maybe it's forcing you to let go of something that's been holding you back. Here's a personal example. There was a time in my life when I lost almost everything. I won't go into the details, but let's just say it felt like the universe had ripped the rug out from under me. At first, all I could feel was anger and frustration. But as time went on, I started to realize that losing everything forced me to rebuild from scratch. It forced me to get clear about what really mattered to me. And looking back now, I can honestly say it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. So here's my challenge to you the next time you're facing a negative situation. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" It's a small shift, but it can completely change how you experience negativity. Here's something most people don't realize: when you grow from your struggles, it doesn't just affect you. It creates a ripple effect that impacts everyone around you. Think about it: when you overcome a challenge, you become a source of inspiration for others. You show them what's possible. You give them permission to face their own struggles. This is why stories of resilience and transformation are so powerful. They remind us that no matter how dark things get, there's always a way forward. And the best part, you don't have to be perfect to inspire others. You just have to be real. So let me ask you this: how could your growth impact the people in your life? Maybe it's your family, your friends, or even strangers who look up to you. What kind of example do you want to set for them? All right, let's zoom out for a second. We've talked about how negativity drives personal growth. But what if there's an even bigger picture here? What if the universe isn't just using negativity to shape you? What if it's using it to shape humanity as a whole? Think about it: every major breakthrough in history has come from a place of struggle. Civil rights movements, scientific discoveries, technological innovations, they all started with someone facing a problem and refusing to back down. Negativity, in a way, is the engine of progress. And here's where it gets really mind-blowing. Some scientists believe that the universe itself is evolving. They think that just like life on Earth adapts and grows, the universe might be on a path toward greater complexity and consciousness. If that's true, then your struggles aren't just personal, they're part of a much larger process. So the next time you're going through something hard, remember this: you're not alone. Your struggles are part of something much bigger than you. And every time you grow, you're contributing to the evolution of life, of humanity, and maybe even of the universe itself. Here's the bottom line: negativity isn't something to be feared or avoided. It's a tool, a gift, a superpower. And when you learn to use it, there's nothing you can't overcome. So let me leave you with one final question. What's one small step you can take today to turn a negative in your life into an opportunity for growth? It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be something. Drop your answers in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're turning your struggles into strengths. And if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Because the truth is, we all face negativity. But together we can turn it into something incredible. Thank you for watching. And remember, the universe isn't working against you. It's working through you. You've got this. See you in the next video.